Hi, I'm Tom Lisciavo, Education Manager here at Pasco Scientific.
And I'm Ron Fieldhouse, Training Specialist here at Pasco.
And we're here today to talk about the wireless pH sensor and the AirLink, and we're going to use them to do an acid-base titration. And Ron's going to tell us about the setup.
This is our standard drop counter. It comes with a syringe. In this case, I placed sodium hydroxide inside of it. It has a double stopcock. The top stopcock I'm going to use to turn off and on, and the bottom one is set for flow rate. I've pre-adjusted that before the lab. Our drop counter itself is a plate. It has a hole in it with a photosensor, and I can easily place my pH right inside one of the holes.
So now, to do the experiment, we're going to have to connect these sensors wirelessly to our computer.
First, I'm going to turn on the pH. That's simply hold down the button for a few moments, and I can see the red light start to flash. Our AirLink allows any of our standard sensors to become wireless. So I'm going to plug that in, and I'm going to turn that on. And I can see once again the red light is flashing.
So now they're both on. I'm going to connect them to the software. In this case, I'm using SparkView software. I'm going to touch the Bluetooth icon. No need to go into the system settings. It pairs right in the application. And I see my wireless devices. If you're in a classroom setting, there might be multiple pH sensors and AirLinks around, so you want to make sure your ID number matches the ID number of your device in the software. Since they match, I'm going to click on pH. Now that's connected. And I'm going to click on my AirLink. And that's connected. And once they're both connected, I'm going to hit Done. Now that they're connected to the software, the measurements of both those sensors will appear on the home screen. So here's my drop counter measurements, drop sample, drop count, and fluid volume, and my pH measurements. And specifically, I'm looking at the pH in this case. So to do a titration experiment, we actually have a structured Spark Lab available for you. So if you want to do that, you can go into Spark Labs, and there's a Spark Lab called Titration Curves. We're not actually going to use this titration curve experiment in the Spark Lab. We're just going to build our own. Show you how easy it is to get started. So now I'm back at the home screen. I'm going to hit pH. That automatically makes a graph of pH versus time. I don't want time. I'm going to change that to fluid volume. And now I have an appropriate graph for a titration curve. Before I start, though, if I wanted to calibrate, if I wanted very accurate measurements, very quantitative and accurate measurements of the pH and or drop counter, I could calibrate them. And there are videos in our video library that will show you how to do that. For this particular experiment, the factory calibrations are appropriate, so I'm just going to start data collection. So I'm going to start data collection here, and then Ron.
And since this isn't running against time, it's running against volume, I can take my time. It's not going to record until drops start going through the drop counter. So I'm going to turn the top one on. Sodium hydroxide is now dripping through the drop counter. I can see the green light flashing, meaning that it is lighting up, and it's going down into the hydrochloric acid. There's also phenolphthalein in there, so after a little bit, you're going to start seeing it turning pink. And there we go. It's going up through the equivalence point, and it's plateauing out. I can see that we've reached the top of the plateau, or the top of the titration curve, and it's starting to plateau. I can also tell it's gone past the equivalence point by the bright pink of the phenolphthalein. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off by that top stopcock again, and we'll let Tom analyze that data a little bit.
So minutes after starting this titration, we have a nice titration curve. I'm going to stop data collection. I'm going to auto-fit this graph, and there we see this beautiful titration curve. And from here now we can analyze equivalence points. And depending on the acid-base titration we're doing, we could explore strengths of acids, concentrations of acids, even polyprotic acids and bases. So this is a great tool and setup for acid-base titrations. And if you want to learn more about this and any other wireless sensors, go to pasco.com/wireless. Thank you.
Thank you very much.